Hola. Alright, hello everyone, my name is Jose. Today I would like to expose this famous restaurant. The name is KFC. Well, KFC is a very important restaurant that is that it usually comes from Louisville, Kentucky. Alright. The person who opened this restaurant was, his name is Colonel Sanders. Why was a colonel? Because he was in the army. He represents the army for a long time. And the thing is, he always liked to cook for the army. So one of the best meals that he knows how to cook, it was the chicken. And then when he retires, he was thinking about how to open their own restaurant. So they opened the first restaurant close to his house, and the name is, well, KFC. He usually works for almost 20 years before he died, because he died since 90 years old, I think. And well, KFC joins a part of the John Brands Corporation. So when the John Brands Corporation started taking care of the KFC branch restaurant, he basically starts to expand the KFC around the country, and they start opening to get a couple information about how many restaurants are right now in the countries. Nearly about 8,500 stores around the country, but around the world is more than the 17,000 stores, are located right now. Basically, today I would like to define three basics, three differences about a KFC branch, about the food, prices, and popularity. The difference between these three things are basically in how the KFC appears in my country, in Peru, and how KFC looks now in this year, in 2012, in the United States. Well, I'm going to start about the food quality, alright? Basically, in the United States, KFC now wants to take advantage of most of the middle class, alright? They try to promote different kind of meals to attract the people, to attract the customers, and that's why the customers can get a little more, accessible food, basically, because right now in this country, most of the people, they don't have time to cook, all right? And to be honest, they prefer to spend less money on food, and they try to get a quickly meal, because they don't have enough time to spend, in the restaurants, like 40 minutes or 30 minutes. So that's why they choose, sometimes they choose KFC, or sometimes they choose Taco Bell or Pizza Hut again. That's why KFC tried to open their menus to everyone, to be accessible to different kind of person, right? They offer, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, coleslaw, baked beans, green beans, corn, depending on the customer's requirements. Of course, they have three kind of meals, three kind of chickens. For example, they have crispy chicken. They used to have crispy and spicy chicken, but they don't have that anymore. They took out from the menu because the people, they don't really like that. Or well, this is not too famous, to be honest. For example, they have another kind of chicken, that's a grilled chicken. And the original one from the Colonel Sanders, shows the first restaurant that's original recipe chicken. Well, what about in Peru? The food quality in Peru is completely different. Just to give you a little reference about how KFC shows in Peru, KFC shows in the first store in Peru appears in 1979. All right, this is a new restaurant in Peru that it was very famous. They appears in the TV shows like a commercial, and they shows that's a sandwich only. A new brand sandwich. That is the new store, that's a KFC. Well, the people who usually visited just this particular restaurant, it was only the high people, the people who has a lot of money, the rich people, because this restaurant just appears with a high quality of one of the most important restaurants in the country, because it's not usually to have an American restaurant here in my country, in Peru, as as another restaurants that we have usually in Peru. So just the people who has a lot of money decides to go to this place and try to taste what is this kind of new food that we have there. So right now in this time, KFC expands his stores in Peru. They only have 52 stores right now, locations in Peru, mostly in Lima, in the capital of Peru. And of course they try to work the same thing as here. You try to attract the people, try to sell in different kind of things. So but the hard thing for this restaurant, in my opinion, it is they have to sell with high prices for the customers, and they try to be flexible on that, but it is kind of hard because it comes from American branch, and it is kind of difficult for them to try to balance, to try to get profit from that. That's why they offer high prices for in Peru, and it is hard for the people to get it sometimes. In Peru, the menu is kind of simple. It's little kind of similar, but I will continue that in a few seconds. The only things that I can express about Peru, they offer selling only the original recipe chicken and the crispy one. They usually offers the fries. It's kind of similar with McDonald's, but they have their own taste, different taste. And they offer nuggets also, and of course the famous coleslaw and the famous mashed potatoes. The price, like I said, the prices affects a lot. For example, to be honest, here in the United States, you can spend $5 to get a meal, right? Sometimes it's less. They offer new special prices. Sometimes you can get, for example, you can get 2 pieces one side, a drink just for $5. It's so simple like that. For example, in Peru, you have to spend more than that. You have to spend, like, for example, $16. That means it's like $16, just to be simple like that, just to get a couple pieces one side and a drink. $16 is too expensive for a person who lives here, to get accessible prices. That's why I can say it is very expensive for people in Peru to get this kind of food. And that's why the people in Peru prefer to go to these certain places just on special occasions. So, with the friends. And another thing is, the people who usually goes there, they try to show they're very popular. I mean, they're the people who are very rich, and they try to show some kind of popularity than others. They are very famous people only. So that's why. That is, they prefer to go there to show that. So, like I said, the popularity, right now in these times, like I said, KFC branches try to attract the people, try to attract the customers, right? And the only thing that they do that is try to offer combos or special things for the customers, so the customers feel attracted of this. And one of the thing is how the people be attractive. Well, they send commercials sometimes. They sell different kind of offers. To be honest, in Peru, they try to attract these things in certain areas, especially in the high society, high level society, and they try to attract the kids. They try to attract the old people and the middle people. So why? They doing sometimes as a McDonald's, they doing like as big parties with chicken. They bring cakes for that, and of course there are involved more employees in that restaurants to do that, and that's the other different, because in KFC right now here you can run a store with 3 people. So you have the cook, you have the manager, and you have one register, and you can run that the drive-thru as a front desk. And another difference is in Peru you have to run a restaurant like that with more than 20 people, because you need some help. You need to help and support different areas, not just on the front desk, not just in the cook part or in the management. You have to take care of different kind of area, and of course they are more worried about the service in Peru because they consider this a very important restaurant, one of the most important branches, and they want to give a good perception of that. That. And what the difference here is, they try to do the same thing, but they don't try to spend more money, because here like I said, you just spend $5 to get a couple pieces on a side order. It's not too much money. That's why if you don't spend much money, the store doesn't get much profit. So the thing is, if more customers you have, more profit you get. But the stores, to be honest, they don't want to spend more money in employees to do that kind of job. That's why they try to find employees who are enough quality of work so they can expand their jobs to different areas. And that's why they are looking for that kind of employees offers. So I think KFC branch, like I said, is part of the John Branch Corporation, and the John Branch Corporation is a huge corporation that involves Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, John Lone Silver, and of course KFC. Now they are, like I said, it is a very important corporation that they try to expand to all over the world, and of course they go to Peru and they try to show the good food quality of that. If you have any question, I can answer. If not, thank you for listening.